Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Mining Journal to inviting Endeavour Mining to present, and I give you an overall view of our operations. Starting with a map to tell you where we operate. We operate here in West Africa, as you can see. We have two operating mines in Côte d'Ivoire, Agbaou and Ity, two operating mines in Burkina Faso, Houndé, which is one of our flagship, and Karma. And we have one project in Mali called Kalana that we bought from Avnel in 2017 and that we are developing and optimizing. So overall, this year we target to produce around 700,000 ounces at an all-in sustaining cost around $800 per ounce. We have 9 million ounces of reserve and 15 million ounces of M&I resource. So West Africa is clearly a focus for Endeavour Mining, and it's an area where we want to stay and where we want to develop our operation today. And let me tell you why we are so bullish about West Africa. We do believe that there is a strong potential in that area and that we have a competitive advantage. This area is the fourth largest gold producing region globally. It's the third region which attracts global exploration budget, and is the first region where we have, over the past few years, discovered gold when we rank globally, worldwide, the world discoveries. Some numbers around that. First, in production, you see that West Africa is producing 8 million ounces in 16, which is the first producer. It's better and beyond United States or Peru or even South Africa. Significant exploration efforts in West Africa, so it attracts more and more exploration because discoveries are there, because the potential is there. So when you consolidate the numbers which has been invested in exploration in Burkina, in Côte d'Ivoire, in Ghana, in Mali, and even in Senegal, you see that this region we took the 17 years, in 17, 385 million, which is the third region after Canada and Australia, where globally companies are investing in exploration. And the result is here, because when you look at the discoveries, 10 years discoveries between 2006 2016, you see that West Africa has discovered 80 million ounces in a decade. So it's the number one discovery region, so clearly strong potential. And we do believe it's not finished it's a reasoning, but for a simple reason is that when you look at the Greenbelt stone, which is across all the West Africa. You see Ghana, of course, is one of the regions where there is a lot of production discoveries in the past decades, in past centuries even. But it represents a very small portion of that belt, and that countries like Burkina Faso or Côte d'Ivoire total 60% of the belt, but only 25% of the production. So clearly there is an unbalance because probably those regions we haven't invested enough in exploration in those regions, and this is something that makes us believe that the potential is strong there. West Africa as well, in terms of political and overview on the economic union, is quite simple. All those countries are quite simple to operate. First, because they act like one economic zone, one economic area, with a central bank, BCAO, same currency, which is linked with euro, so not a lot of surprise on the currency front, and with fiscal but also accounting norms that are harmonized and normalized across the countries. So no needs to have complexity, and I would say, as a CFO, we are acting quite normally with the tax authorities, so there is no strange things happening there. So the tax system, all that is quite stable, even if sometimes, of course, it changes, and they might change the mining codes, but they do not come back on the contract and mining convention that has been settled years ago. So globally, a good area to operate. Endeavour is emerging as the only multi-asset West African and mid-tier producer. You see here, we compare the number of mines that we operate compared to the countries where we operate. So we operate 4 mines in West Africa in 2 countries. So geographically, we are very focused and diversified as well. Objective is also probably in the next few years to first open a new mine. You know that we were probably in Mali with a mine called Tabakoto that we sold last year, but we have this project Kalana that might be built probably in 1 or 18 months year time. But we are also expanding in the region, taking some permits in Guinea, but also in Niger, because also those countries have a part of the belt and are also, we do believe, underexplored. An overall view about our production and all-in sustaining cost. You see the story of Endeavour here since 13. So year after year, we are increasing our production and we are decreasing our all-in sustaining cost. So it's done mainly through internal growth, construction of project, but also sometimes external growth, as we did acquire Avnel or True Gold over the past 4 years. So you see that in 14 we built Agbaou. That makes a huge step for us. In 16 we acquired True Gold that started in April 16 with a full year in 17. In 17 we finished Houndé that started at the end of the year. So a full year in 18. So it explained the growth between 17 and 18. And in 19, we have finished ETCIL. ET was a small mine. It was an EPH operation that we have upgraded to a CIL, a 4 million tons plant CIL, now probably even 5 million tons plant CIL, that as we are upgrading the plant currently. And so 19, since April, ET has started. So it's potential growth for 20. And we still have some growth as we are in green over there. You see intending to build Kalana probably in 21. During that period, you see that all-in sustaining costs that were in 13 at around $1,300 per ounce have decreased to this year to $800 per ounce. So we are building a premier African gold producer, and we have 4 strategic levers to achieve our global objective. Global objectives are to have mine life over 10 years, all-in sustaining cost below $800 per ton, and producing around 800,000 ounces. 4 strategic levers: operational excellence, project development, clearly internal growth is the focus, unlocking exploration value, and the management of our portfolio and balance sheet. So operational excellence first. One thing that we are very proud of is the safety record. You see here that operating track record on the LTI is decreasing year after year. From 16, where we were at 0.4, we are now at 0.16. And when we compare to the peer group average, which is 0.8, we think that we are in the benchmark. Construction track record as well is very important, because you know that during construction might happen some difficulties, and we have built Houndé, Agbaou, and ET with no LTI. So 8 million man-hours with no LTI for ET build. Operational excellence is also a model where we try to have hands-on management model with team close to the operations. So we have a team, the headquarters is here in London. We are listed in Toronto, but the headquarters is in London. Small team, we have a very small headquarters here. Most of the people are in Abidjan. About 40 people, operational headquarters is Abidjan. And they are able to fly very easy to all the mines and to reach the mines in 1 or 2 hours. So very efficient model, sharing expert in mining, in processing. They are able to reach the mine very quickly. So quite efficient model with a big part of the team based in Abidjan. Project development. So most recent mine build, you've seen that we have a strong track record in terms of building. We built Nzima in Ghana in 2010. We built Agbao in 2014. We did Houndé in 2017, and finally ETCIL this year. Every time on schedule, on budget, or even below budget, and with 0 LTI. When you can see here the asset and the fact that we are building high quality project. If I take Houndé first, which has now a bit more than a year of production, all-in sustaining cost of Houndé should be $650 per ounce. It's the objective and average over the first 2 years. For a production of 260,000 ounces, 10 years mine life, and build starts ahead of time and under budget. Same for ETCIL, lower, much more profitable mine, as all-in sustaining cost is targeted to be below 600 for the first 2 years. Production 240, 14 years mine life, and ET has started 2 months ahead of budget, on schedule. Sorry. So overall, very good track record in terms of construction. If I focus just on the last project, ET, you see here the mine plans of ET. ET is a very old mine that we have completely reshaped. ET was, again, a heap leach operation that has operated since the late 90s, with no visibility and very little production, around between 50 and 60,000 ounces in heap leach production. When the new management team arrived in 2015 with ET, we started with a project to build a plant of 1.5 million tons plant. Then we optimized to 2 million, then to 3, and finally we are building 4. And we've even taken the decision to upgrade the plant to 5 million tons that will be built at the end of the year, because we have done some discoveries around ET that makes us believe that we have the means and we have the resource to feed the plant at a much higher pace. So ET is a very profitable project. Again, 14 years mine life, after-tax return of 40%, NPV currently at 5% is over 700 million, and the payback is expected to be 2 years. Let me give you first a small movie. I hope it will be clear just about ET. Yeah, so this is a quick movie just to see the site of ET, which is one. So we have a logistic. We are transporting people by planes. This is the TSF, which is now in operation. Power generator, we are connected to the grid, but we have a backup with some genset. A fleet of material, brand new fleet bought from Komatsu with a financing agreement over the next 5 years. Of course, operations have started, so mining have started there. You see, this movie was done in March, but it's the first try with the conveyor of ET, the crusher over there, and you see the build of the SAG and ball mill here, which is now, of course, running and finished. The tanks, the plant. So this project has cost $415 million and is expected again to be paid back over the next 2 years, and is in operation since April 8th. One thing important as well is that we have always a ramp up for our mines between the moment we pour the first gold to the moment we declare commercial production, which is about a month. And after that, we reach nameplates and we never came back. Third layer of our strategy is unlock exploration value. So we have a huge plan for exploration, which aims to discover between 10 and 15 million ounces in 5 years, so between 16 and 21. You see here in gray what we have discovered compared to the objective in the different areas. So we are at the middle of our plan, and you see here that we have discovered about 3.5 million ounces. 4.5 million ounces, sorry. Last piece, portfolio and balance sheet management. Important to show you that we are constantly managing portfolio. We want our mines to be in what we call the magic quadrants, so over 10 years mine life and below $850 per ounce. So you see ETCL is clearly there, Houndé is there, and we will announce as well on Houndé some good news in the coming years, in the coming days with some reserve that will probably be qualified. Kalana, Agbaou and Karma for the moment are a bit out of this, but we've seen that all the mines that were not able to reach that quadrant have been sold. Tabakoto last year, Enzima, and Yuga in 16. Conclusion, what do we offer? We offer clearly a pipe of projects that will transform into PFS and DFS, and there are still a lot of projects in the pipe, and of course, immediate, and we want all those projects or part of those projects to become mines. And finally, in terms of what we did, in fact, we are just entering in a new period now for Endeavour. Between 16 and 19, we invested 1 billion to build our mines. We have now 2 big flagships, which are Ity and Houndé, with some projects in the pipeline. We have demonstrated the efficiency of our exploration upside and our exploration strategy. Now, what we want is to concentrate on cash flow return, reimbursement of our debt, and return on capital employed. We are currently at 8% of return on capital employed. We want to reach 20%, and this is clearly the objective over the next 2 years, is to reach the 20% and start to pay dividends or share buyback in the year to come. Thank you very much for your attention.